Are you stuck at home in lockdown? Yeah, I know, we all are. Don't worry, we've got you covered because it's time once again for Live at Night with Pete Ferrero, where whatever happens, happens. Here's your host, Pete Ferrero.
They must be like the life of the party. You mad?
Okay, we're here. We're live at night, and I have Chef Leia Gaccione. How are you?
That is
It's not a tough one.
a loaded question. If you've ever asked one, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. We're doing great.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta ask you. We got South and Pine in the background here, as you can see. That's one of your two shops.
I'm also representing the brand on my sweatshirt, South and Pine hoodie. I should reload and see if some people want to buy them.
I am repping a Beverly Hills 90210 show shirt that you can get at the Beverly Hills 90210 showshop.com. I'm representing you care, but I am representing this one, the Beverly Hills Beach Club. If you are looking for a shirt, make sure you go get one. Okay, that's a lot of plugging. That's for tomorrow. Anyway, so let me ask you. Last time you were here, I think you were here once in between, but the first time you were here, we were on a group chat with lots of different chefs, all talking about how the virus was affecting their business. Everybody was in panic, and I still think that still probably remains a bit. How are you doing today from there?
Well, I mean, I think that we've come a long way from 9 weeks ago. I do feel mentally in a better place, although I think that, there's still a lot to come with this. So I'm trying to take it day by day, not get in my head so much and think about what is going to happen, because you could speculate all day long and drive yourself fucking crazy. So I'm literally just taking it day by day, trying to do the best that we can do at both restaurants. That's
great. And now you brought your co-host. I see Luna has joined us.
Hello. Say hello, little pup.
So you're doing the best that you can.
We're doing the best that we can. I mean, Thank God I have this little nugget to snuggle every day.
She is a cutie. So let me ask you. Hey, we got we were already getting some comments live. You like this? No, it's a new part of the show where we send comments. George says he loves you, Leah.
I love you. Thanks, Dr. George. Love you. We're supposed to go to Greece in August.
I don't know. I don't. It's going to be shut down. Good luck.
I mean, if they let me go, I'm on a flight. I'm gone. I might not come back.
My cousin Tammy says, "Hey, Peter, great. Back to you." And Gennaro gave all these crazy faces. So there we go. We're getting right off the back with this stuff. Yeah. Okay, but let me ask you. So, what are you doing in the place right now? What's happening? Like, are you a market? You were saying that you were doing some market stuff.
Yeah, so at Central and Main, we're just offering a limited menu. And then at South and Pine, we're still doing the South and Pine Market, which is a grocery program that we started, which is all like restaurant quality groceries. We're also doing a limited menu there. We've implemented a grain bowl section, which I'm changing. On Thursday, we're adding 4 new grain bowls, and one of them has, I think this is so funny. I was cracking up. I hope everyone thinks it's funny. One of them has English peas, pea shoots, feta cheese, tahini vinaigrette, and pistachios. And we're calling it the PEA. That was pretty clever.
Yeah.
And then we're also doing family style dinners there. And we're doing that too at Central here and there. So we have like fried chicken Fridays, biscuits, collard greens, mac and cheese, fried chicken. And then this Sunday for Memorial Day, we're doing a clam bake, which I'm really excited about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just doing lots of crazy good stuff over there. That sounds like
the kind of fun thing about it is that this does, while there is a lot of work, like it's kind of fun to create these really different family style meals every weekend, because it's like I get to cook for people, and I get to cook whatever I want, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I mean, and do you find yourself sort of going off your usual script and like trying to do different things? What makes sense to be a takeout item, things like that?
Yeah, I think we're trying to think of things that will travel well. Like, for instance, on Saturday we did a soft shell crab sandwich. I think it's also kind of like something that's driving me is to serve people stuff that they can't necessarily get in the supermarket. So like you really can't find soft shell crabs often in the supermarket. You can't really find ramps too often in the supermarket. So I did like a pickled ramp tartar sauce with pickled ramps, the stems pickled and the leaves raw and just chopped with capers. And we did like a homemade aioli. And then I put that on dude, you would love it. Buttered brioche bun, slathered with this pickled ramp tartar sauce, orange tomato seasoned with salt and pepper, arugula, crispy soft shell crab with a cornmeal, really super light cornmeal batter, and then fucking prosciutto on it.
Oh God, I love it. Sounds incredible. Adrian popped in with a comment. She says, I'm going to be the new bread baker for Leah. She's going to put it on the menu, I swear. Now, let me ask you, Leah, have you been following people on social media? Has everyone gone off fucking nuts with the bread? I mean, I see like everybody is, and no offense to Adrian, I'm sure it's wonderful, but
It looks
it does. All her breads look great, but everybody appears to be baking bread now. We went off the rails here.
Well, I think everyone has a lot more time on their hands, but I kind of love that everyone's cooking at home a lot more than they usually would. I think that it's a really good thing. And, you know, like, I think when things get stressed, like, I cook. Like, that's what I do. And I guess all of America now is on that train.
You something else that you invented. I wanted to ask you, well, I'm saying you're always kind of thinking. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about you deciding to be a chef. I remember when we did Her Name is Chef, you told me we used to drive together all the time. Hang on, I pulled this. You're gonna hate me, but I pulled this is you arguing with somebody on the phone as we drove in somewhere. But I remember that you were telling me a little bit about the story and some of the places that you cooked, as you were getting into all of this. Wait, hang on. I have a surprise for you.
What is it? Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
I can't. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear Leah.
Oh, you
Oh
can.
no. Come back in, Ariane. Leave and then come back in. Sometimes that works. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Ariane's gonna say hi to you and say some nice things. If I have to, a lot of times I have to translate. So we'll see how that plays.
Okay.
But I do want to talk to you about some of the places that you worked at, because a lot of people probably don't even know that you got your roots sort of at like Raymond's and some of the Cuban Pete's and some of those cool spots.
Yeah.
All right, hold up. Let's see how this plays out. All right.
Can you hear me, Leah?
Yes.
No.
She can't hear me.
All right. Hear her. Okay. I don't know what that is. Such a
you know what that happened with
the other lead. Yeah. It's good. I will translate. I will translate. We'll play the translation game. Anyway, so she can hear you. Leah can hear you. But anyway, Ariane, tell me what it is that you love about Leah.
Oh gosh. First of all, that beautiful face. It's always so great to see her. Always so great. And I tell you, you truly have been an inspiration through all of this. I love seeing your posts. You are a friggin' go-getter. You haven't stopped. And I commend you for that. It's just really, really, it's just so admirable to see. So kudos to you.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much.
She said thank you. I'm talking to somebody in another language here.
I'll relive.
Yeah, have you guys enjoyed each other's restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah. So Leah,
best pork chop ever.
She said that you have the best pork chop ever.
I don't even have to hear. I know what she's saying.
So, Ariane, tell me a little bit about what you love about Leah's cooking, and then I will interpret what Leah loves about your cooking. So there you go.
Our styles are very similar. She's simple. She's clean. What you see is kind of what you get. I just was looking at that salmon with the kimchi rice. It looked delicious. So she stays true to the ingredients. The shopping local and all of that, and that's what I love about it. I've never had a bad meal there. I've always gone home probably taking away some of her ideas and making them my own.
I think you're both doing that probably a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
But yeah, I know it. We've known each other or of each other, but we've only really connected in a true friendship, I believe. In the last few years, it's really grown, and I think just being two successful women in the business and kind of seeing what everybody else does, and being the women on the other end of all the boys, so
it's cool to see. It's cool, definitely cool.
It is.
I think. Hold on, let me see. This is you guys together, if you recall.
Where are we?
That was at the dinner at Felina.
Oh, that was at
Felina. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that you couldn't hear her. Right?
Yeah.
It turned into Jeopardy there. But
yeah, with Esther's dinner.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a good night for you guys. Is that when the nights you guys started hanging out and
Yeah, that we really started talking. I mean, we were obviously she was with friends and I was with friends. So, but still, yeah, just kind of connecting in a more personal outside of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's always great seeing her at events when we go to events, especially because there's a lot of times, I don't know everybody, and she tends to know a lot of people, which is great. So I can always reach out to her and know that she'll know and be able to connect me if needed or introduce me. Yes, which is great.
Now, before you leave, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
last time you were with me, you were talking about reopening and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That happened now. So
Yes,
how
it
is that going?
happened. It's good. Mother Nature, when she's shining that sun and the warm weather hits, business tends to slow down a little bit. But when we opened, it was amazing, and it's still been amazing. We're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're doing the curbside, and hopefully soon we'll get to do outside. I mean, every day it's just a guessing game, but the curbside and we're doing delivery now, which is great. And the menu's smaller, but it works for us and it works for the town. So yeah. So it's been good. And it's getting people back in there. I brought some people back to work, which is really rewarding. So
that must be the nicest part of it, being able to kind of get that going again.
Absolutely.
Leah, let me ask you before we let Ariane go. She has a few minutes here. What is it about, and I will reiterate what you're saying because you can't hear her. What is it that you love about her cooking?
All right, make sure you tell her this verbatim.
I'm going to do my best. Yeah.
The first time she came to the restaurant, and I saw that she was actually there, I was like shitting my pants. I was like, I can't believe that she's here in this restaurant. I'm such a big fan.
She's saying the first time that you came to her restaurant, she was shitting her pants because she was nervous that you were in her restaurant.
I know. I kind of remember that. Yes.
I was so nervous. But she was so sweet, and I agree with her. I think her and I have a very similar style. We stick to seasonal. But
you guys have similar style. You stick to seasonal.
She does it really well. It's very technique driven, and really her food tastes so fucking good.
So and your food tastes so fucking good. So
every time,
and it's every time that she's been there. So, all right, Ariane. Well, thank you for dropping in and saying hello to Leah. Much appreciated.
And Leah, I love you. I love you so much, and keep doing what you're doing. And I can't wait. And we've had dinner planned. So before all this happened, we're supposed to be having dinner. So we'll be having dinner soon. Yeah. And I love you. Thanks, Pete, for having me.
Yes. Ariane, I'll be in touch with you soon about some other things.
Yes.
Too. So all right.
Cool. Thank
Later.
you. Take it easy, everybody.
All right. That is Ariane with some nice one.
That was so nice.
Yeah, that's the only one we got. So relax.
Maybe more surprises. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
All right. So tell me about that. But you always told me that you started watching food shows, and that's kind of what inspired you. True?
Yeah, when I was little, I used to watch The Frugal Gourmet. I used to watch Julia Child. I used to watch Yan Ken cook, and I would always see him cut an onion or a vegetable. And I would think to myself, like, I want to be able to do that someday. And like, I have very fond memories of watching Iron Chef, like the original Iron Chef with my grandpa. So that is kind of like what was the catalyst of like my love for cooking.
And then you went to school, and then you came out and you started cooking in some Jersey spots. Yeah.
Yeah. When I got out of school, like my last semester at school, I was doing an internship at the Brass Rail in Hoboken. And I was like a little baby 17-year-old nugget. And they wanted me to work in the kitchen, but I remember them wanting to pay me like peanuts. And I was also waiting tables at the same time. So I stayed with waiting tables, and I thought I wanted to be front of the house. And I was going to all these weekly seminars for free on my own time, and they wouldn't give me a promotion. So one day I was like, fuck it. I went to Montclair in my gray express suit with a pinstripe blouse and my pointy little stiletto boots. And I gave my resume to like 20 restaurants. And one French guy at this restaurant called Liberté hired me.
Amazing. Now, I'm going to show you that. Don't get upset when I show you this, but I know that this guy had a huge influence in your life, and that's Carl Ruiz, right? I mean, I don't think we could talk about Leia without talking about Carl.
Yeah. I'm actually like I'm feeling very emotional yesterday and today. So yeah. I'm going to try to hold it together. But yes, I love him so much. When I worked at Liberté, it was owned by a couple. The husband was Turkish and the wife was German. And they were trying to sell the restaurant. And they ended up selling it to this guy, Dominic, who was the owner of Q and Pete's. Mm-hmm. And Dominic offered me a position, but he said he needed to do construction and it was going to take a couple of months. So I got like a part-time job on the side, but I would pop in every now and then to kind of like check on progress. And I remember the day that I went there and Carl was sitting at the table and Dominic said, let me introduce you to the chef. And I met him and he said, who are you? And I was like, I'm Leia. I'm going to be one of your line cooks. And the first day that we started, he was like, you're the sous chef. And I was like, what? I was like,
day one. Yeah.
I wasn't even 21 yet. I was like fucking 18. I was like maybe 19 years old. I was young.
Right.
And yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. That was a hard restaurant opening. It was literally like shot out of a fucking cannon. There was no such thing as a soft opening. Like the doors were open and 600 people were coming in. I had no expo experience at the time. And I remember like the tickets were just like nonstop. Like the tickets I could literally string for, like across my backyard. There was that many fucking tickets. And it was frightening, but we drank a lot of sangria and we worked like 100 hours a week. And that was my first introduction to Carl.
Did you follow him wherever he would go after the places, or how did that sort of play out for you?
Well, like when we were working there, we literally were working like 95 hours to 100 hours a week. And like, I had like, one day I had like a breakdown. I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I was like, 20 years old or something. I can't do this anymore. Typical. I still do that now. But
I was going to say, I've heard that a couple of times in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard business.
Yeah.
So he was like, don't worry. He goes, we're going to get out of here and I'm going to take you with me. We're going to go to the city. And I was like, are you sure you're going to take me? He was like, yeah, I got you. So we ended up going to Son Cubano. And I remember the day that he walked into Son Cubano with Guy Fieri. And that's when Next Food Network Star first season was on. And I remember seeing him on TV and I was like, wow, like I can't believe Carl's here with this guy. But Carl was always out and mingling and talking to people. And then Guy offered him a position in California. And he wanted to take me with him, but I was young and I was dumb and I stayed here. But, we always kind of traveled. Like I always wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps in a sense. I always admired him very much and he's a really talented guy. And in the past 20 years, I've never had more fun in a kitchen, and there's no one I would rather talk to now than him.
I would be curious to know what he feels about all of this for sure. I know he was very outspoken on social media, but anyway, and in a good way.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so you move on and you do start working in what, like at Raymond's and stuff like that. What was that like? I know a lot of people love that place.
Eventually, I did start working at Raymond's, and that was a wonderful experience. I was only 23 at the time. I had no sous chefs. It was kind of like my first like chef de cuisine gig. And so I would work like, 17-hour days. I'd go in the morning at 9 o'clock, prep the lunch special, run upstairs, expo lunch, run back downstairs, prep the dinner special, do the ordering, run back upstairs. Expo. It was like crazy 6 days a week. And it was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
restaurant. And then
this guy.
Yeah, look at that guy.
I love that guy. As you know, I'm obsessed with that guy. Yeah.
I love him too. I love him too.
All right. So tell me, I don't know if you want to share that story about how you met him and what he said to you when you got to the restaurant and all that.
Yeah, for sure. So I was at Raymond's, and I was probably the ripe age of, I don't know, 22, 23. And there was a phone call, and I was downstairs in the office, and Lori, who was the hostess, came downstairs, and she was like, Leah, Liz is on the phone for you. And I was like, who? And she's like, from bar something. And I was like, oh, fuck. I left my credit card at the bar last night. Like, I used to be a little wild. I would be out 6
Right. I did that like the last time I was at a restaurant. So
yeah, I'm like, no, but bad, like blackout level, like who knows how many times.
Right.
I was young and dumb. Anyway, so I pick up the phone, and this woman is like, hey, Leah, it's Liz from Bar American. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, well, actually, I left out a big chunk. Raymond knew Liz, and Raymond sent me to Bar American to like stage for 3 days to go see like why they were successful, how they were organizing themselves, like what made them tick as a successful restaurant. So I went there, and Raymond actually was like, steal the recipes, do whatever you can. So like I'm there and I'm like, I got the recipe packet, and I like stick it in my apron and go in the bathroom and like taking pictures of everything. Anyway, so they invite me back the following week, and they're like, listen, Bobby's going to be here filming. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, we want you to meet him. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I go in, and I'm like cutting an onion at the chef station. And all of a sudden I see Flay walking towards me in the kitchen. And I was like, oh my God. So he walks right up to me, and he goes, hi. And I'm like, hi, I'm Leah. And he's like, I'm Bobby. And I'm like, nice to meet you. And he's like, nice to meet you too. And under my breath, I said, oh my God, this is so crazy. And he goes, what's crazy? And I said, it's just crazy that you're here. Because I'd watched him on TV.
Right. Yeah.
And he looks at me, and he goes, well, it's my fucking restaurant. What do you expect? Shit, like turned bright red. Like my Irish skin was flaring. I looked like a lobster. I almost cut my finger off. I had to run to the back sink. It was very nerve-wracking. But we ended up having a meeting because of that phone call from Liz. She set up a meeting between myself and Bobby, and he ended up offering me a position to work for him.
And that sort of launched you in terms of your career. You worked for him for so long in so many different places. I mean, every restaurant that he opened up, I know you were at Mesa Grill for a long time. Is Mesa Grill the best restaurant in New York City? I miss it so much.
I mean, listen, is it the best restaurant in New York City? I don't know if there is a best restaurant in anywhere. I feel like every restaurant is unique.
It was my favorite for sure, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing restaurant, and I do miss it as well. There's some things that I think about that I like salivate for, like the shrimp tamale or the duck taco or the ribeye with the 2 different chili sauces, like
ribeye. Yeah. Or is that the Southwest? Yeah.
I love the brunch. The brunch is my favorite.
You know what? You just reminded me of the green and red chili sauce Southwest ribeye. That is so good.
Yeah, with the ancho chili rub on it, and then the little pepper on top.
I live in Los Angeles now, and Las Vegas is only a 4-hour drive, and it's there. That's going to happen. Now, when I planned on driving cross country, that was one of my stops, Mesa Grill. but that did not.
Got screwed out of it.
Yeah, I got fucked on that one. All right, so then you're working for Mesa. You're working at Mesa Grill. Tell me about some of those places.
Well, I started at Bar American, and that's like an American brasserie. So I feel like probably.
How did he say to you? So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How do you go from "this is my fucking restaurant" to "yeah, you're hired"? I mean, that's my version of it. Yeah.
You don't do a great impression of him, but
That's okay.
Well, so like whatever, that planted the seed, and that's what the chef had in mind. At the time, I didn't know that there was like massive turmoil among the staff there because Bolo had just closed, and they took the 2 chefs at Bolo and dropped them into Bar American, but the both of them really didn't want to be there.
Got it.
They were looking to like rebuild the kitchen crew. And then I guess, a couple months later, literally Liz called me, set up a meeting. I went into the city, and he was, very upfront with me and told me he was looking to bring some people on board. And the way that he spoke about food and cooking, and also the way he spoke about like a healthy work-life balance was like something that I really wasn't used to and something that really intrigued me. And so I started working for him. And I started at Bar American, and then he opened Bar American in Connecticut in 2009. I opened that. And then in 2011, I moved back down to Jersey to work at Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
I got in a really bad accident about halfway through that stint and shattered my pelvis and was out for 6 months. But I was lucky enough that he held my job for me. And then when I got back, it was in June of 2013. Mm-hmm. And then we closed in September. And then I went to Mesa in Vegas, and I was there for 6 months. And then I came back and we opened Gatto.
Yeah, which is another amazing restaurant. I hope all this places come back. I have not heard anything that's not or anything like that, so I don't mean to indicate that. But I hope that we get to see more stuff coming out of him. And he's got all the awesome burger palaces. But I mean, that's somebody else's burger.
Look at that beauty.
Now, tell me, I've had your burger many times, and I think it's the best burger anywhere. I don't know if you know, but on Mondays we do Monday Night Manja with Tony Manja, and we're going to do a burger one soon enough. So I want you to come in and talk about this one.
Why don't they order takeout and eat it and talk about it at the same time? Why don't I donate a burger to your cause?
Oh, that would be amazing. All right. Well, I don't know if Tony Manja's watching today, but I'm sure he'll love that.
I forgot we're closed on Mondays. You're going to have to.
Well, it will be like Tuesday Night Manja. for a special week. Yeah. But yeah, so tell me about your burger, because I know that you go head to head with Bobby at some point, and you throw down some burgers on Beat Bobby Flay, right?
Yeah. So yes, I did go on Beat Bobby Flay. That was the second time that I went on Beat Bobby Flay that I went against him with that burger. First time was pork chops and applesauce. I lost both times. I think the second time it wasn't rigged, but I feel like I really put up a good fight the second go on that. But our burger's on an English muffin. It's buttered and griddled, so it's like crispy but chewy. And then we slather the bottom with bacon aioli that we make in-house with Applewood smoked bacon. So we're using crispy bacon in the aioli and the bacon fat as well. And then we're putting a layer of bib lettuce that's tossed in a lemon vinaigrette, a nice beefsteak tomato seasoned, griddled burger patty. I'm a big fan of the griddle on the burger instead of the grill. I like the crust that you get. I like that it locks in the juices. And then we house smoke local cheddar cheese. And then we're topping it with a fried egg and the other bun. And it's delicious.
I mean,
it's delicious, and it like drips all over you.
I remember, watching your episode of his show, and it was unique because they were bringing back people to come in and go head to head with him or whatever. Was that a fun experience? Did he really not know that you were the person that was going to be challenging him, or do you think he knew?
Yeah. I think it was a surprise. If I recall, are you trying to find the clip right now?
Hey, I'm trying to find a clip. I'm so sorry. You can hear that shit? That's so annoying. Sorry.
Okay. Yes,
Anyway.
I think it was a surprise, and it was fun. It was, honestly, I was I'm very nervous to do a competition, especially when it's against my boss of almost 8 years. Like it's a very nerve-wracking experience, but I always tell myself when I do things like that, it's just cooking. It's just cooking. Like you do this every day, just go and cook.
Well, I mean, I know you got a great Iron Chef story too when you did Iron Chef. But before I'm going to share this because you're talking about your burger and all that. So I thought it would be good to share this. Hang on, let's see if I can make this happen pretty easily. Now I don't know how it's going to play out, but you never know. Here we go. Boom. It didn't. Okay, you got it.
Yeah. I see
You
it.
see
The
it?
most important relationships
One of the most
I have
important
outside
relationships
of work
I have outside of work is with my brother, Gary.
He is the
He is
funniest,
the funniest
person
person
I know.
I know.
This
This year, for his birthday, I tried to do something super special because my schedule has been very chaotic. Food is love to me. It's either a quick lunch at Ani Ramen or making him one of his favorites, a medium rare cheeseburger with a runny egg. What could be better than celebrating your birthday with a burger? It's really sweet to give the gift of food to the ones you love, just like Caroline Schiff does with her desserts.
Well, there's your burger. That's why I shared that with you. That's you and you making a burger for your brother in Her Name is Chef when we shot that some time ago, which is having some fun with right now. But so there it was. Tell me about that. Remember doing that with your brother?
Yeah, it was so fun. My brother's like the funniest person I know. I wonder if he's watching right now. Can you see who's watching?
I can't see who's watching.
Sorry,
but
are you watching? Because if you're not, I'm very disappointed in you.
some more comments. Pedro, do you know who that is or no?
Nope. Okay, you tell? Oh,
Yeah.
Una hamburguesa.
Okay. And then we have George who said Joanna sends her love and says Leah.
So nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
very
the
nice.
comments when you put them up, right?
And then we have Daniela who says I'm pescatarian and that burger even sounds amazing to me. So maybe we have a conversion for sure, right?
I've known to convert some people into eating my food when they think that they won't or they can't, and then they do, and then they can't stop. So, yeah, that was a fun day that we did that. It was so fun.
And then we were talking about Beat Bobby Flay. Did we finish? Did we wrap on that? Did we say what we felt about that?
I mean, it was a really fun experience. Yeah, I think we got
it. Nailed it. Yeah, and then we did Her Name is Chef, right? I mean, that was, I don't know if that's, well, you open two restaurants. You leave Bobby and you open one restaurant, then you open a second restaurant. Talk to me about that process. Was he helpful? I know that I've had 2 or 3 Bobby people on here, and they all say he is in it. Leah Cohen said it last week, and another Leah, and Claire Robinson said it the week before. Just what an incredible mentor and teacher he is. I mean, every time I hear a story about Bobby, it's always about something really good that he did for somebody. So do you feel that he was a mentor even when you made a decision? Like, was he a mentor 1, and then 2, you make a decision to leave? How does he react to some of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have reacted as anybody who had an employee for 7.5 years react when they tell them that they're leaving. So, it wasn't all sunshine and flowers when I said I was going to be leaving, but, ultimately he was very supportive and is very supportive. And if I need something, I know I can reach out to him and he'll be there. Like he really taught, like, I feel that I owe him probably my, like, everything, because he kind of set me up for where I am. And I think he kind of taught me, like, the fundamentals of cooking in a sense. So running a business. So
And they both shared, and I don't mean to, put this in you, but they both shared like that they can still go to him for advice and mentorship, and he's always kind of there.
yeah, for sure. I know that if I reach out to him, he'll be there.
Yeah, good dude. That's what everybody says, so it's nice to hear that. Now, Fabio says, Leah Marie.
Hello, that's my surf safe teacher.
Very
Good
cool.
guy. Good guy, that Fabio.
Yeah, he's always very supportive. I love him. I don't know him, but I mean, he's very supportive on
Nice.
yeah.
Honestly, really, really good guy.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so you leave and you open 2 restaurants, but you open one at first, but tell me about that.
Yeah. We opened South and Pine in 2015. We had about 6 weeks to kind of get it together, maybe 4 weeks to get it together, and it was crazy. You don't have any money when you open a restaurant. And nobody really tells you what you're in for, but you end up doing a lot of the listen. I'm not saying by any means that I did it all by myself, but like the beginning was very hectic where I was like answering phones and like seating people and running back and dropping off a soda and looping around into the kitchen and finishing up a sandwich and running that out to a table and then seating somebody else and bussing the table. Like it was like everything at once.
Yeah.
And my location in Morristown is amazing because it's right next to the theater. And so in the beginning, that theater was a lifesaver because when there was a show, people needed a place to eat and we're right next door.
Yeah.
And you would be able to tell that it was only the theater because around 7:45, 8 o'clock, when everyone got up to go to the show, that would be the end of our night. And I guess, over the years, we've kind of, gotten a good reputation and people really love us. And so now it's not just driven by the shows. I think it's driven by the food. It's driven by our staff. And it's a great place. And then in 2018, we opened Central in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And like 2 months after that happened, then you and I linked up.
Yeah.
Which was very
I want to ask you about that. Yeah, I mean, and Tony Manja, did credit. I don't know where he is, if he's watching this or not, but he was one of the people that said you need to talk to Leah about being the host of the show. So him and I think Adrian both said it on different days, and then we kind of rocked that. But there you are, right? I do love that. Adrian took that. That's you, the leader of Her Name is Chef, and we went around and are making this incredible project. Still, we're almost there. And, we went around and talked to all these different women chefs and Elizabeth Faulkner and Caroline and Hillary Sterling, who you shared roots with and whatnot, and Esther and the Maxwell sisters. And well, I was going to ask you, and then I want to know what you think about this one. What do you think about Fatima after the experience and time that you got to meet her and know her?
Well, again, I think like for me, I'm always like, I'm just such a fan of a lot of people, like whether it was Bobby Flay or whether it's Arian or whether it's Fatima. Like I remember watching her season of Top Chef and like really kind of like latching on to her. Oh, hey. I remember like latching on to her because I thought that she was really creative and she was really doing an amazing job, and she was very inspirational, and especially as another female, like just kind of like fearless. And like I remember the turning point where she cooked something that was Pakistani, and then she like was off to the races. Like she really just found her spot, And
I remember when we were planning out the list of chefs, we had everybody that you can ever imagine. For anybody who's wondering, we had them. They're on the list. And then she kept coming up because of Top Chef and how great of a cook and how interesting she was. And I was like, you call her.
Yeah.
Tell me what that phone call is like when you have to blind call Fatima. You don't even know her. You know what I mean? And how did that go?
I mean, it was frightening because she was, going through what she was going through at the time.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to like necessarily, for lack of a better term, bother someone.
Sure.
And so I felt like I wanted to be as delicate as possible, but somehow, some way I got her number and I ended up calling her and she ended up picking up the phone. I was like in the closet at Central in Maine, like, Fatima, I know you don't know me, but my name is Leah and I'm a chef in New Jersey. And, just like we want to make this show and we'd love to have you on it. And I'm a huge fan of yours. And I'm really sorry to bother you because I know everything you're going through right now, but I was just wondering if you wanted to have a conversation about it.
And she did.
Yeah. We had brunch with her at a cook shop, right?
Yeah. We went up there and we had a really beautiful brunch. And I remember that she was so gracious and she came in the hat and she was so happy to be with us. And, the more she talked about her experiences in Padma, we just knew that we wanted her to be on it so badly. And she agreed to do it. And we have that some of those moments, they're so powerful. How would you say, I mean, listen, this is, I don't mean to get you emotional, but this is tough, right? Carl.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And within a year of each other, that's gotta be some tough stuff. No?
It was a little bit of a rough year last year. It's been a little bit of a rough go the past couple of years. But it's.
What do you think the biggest thing you got from Carl is, maybe in terms of cooking advice or just life advice, and also Fatima? What are the two things? What are the things that those two people gave to you in your career?
Well, I would say from Fatima, it's kind of like no matter what gets in your way, you should never stop pursuing your dreams. And you should always, I think don't take anything for granted. And also like, just take advantage of life, Yeah. With Carl, I think that he gave me a really thick skin. I think he was a very solid contributing factor to that. And he gave me a lot of tough love. And like when this all happened, I was just thinking like, what would Carl tell me with this fucking pandemic, And he would like take me by the shoulders and he would be like, Lee, fucking stop it. You got it. Like you could fucking do it. Stop crying, And he was just a very like tough love kind of guy, but always very straightforward, very real. You didn't want to hear it most of the time, but he would say it to you anyway, and he was right. Like, God.
Oh, I was gonna say Bobby. What is the biggest thing that you took from Bobby?
Bobby,
three big people that we were affected, and he's still alive and doing wonderful. So that's not a passing, but I'm curious what the biggest thing. Now that we're asking that question, what the biggest things that you took from him are?
Yeah, I think Bobby for sure. Like, Bobby taught me that you have to work hard for what you want. And I think one of the biggest things I took from him was that you have to be a teacher. Because I think that's like the most important thing when you have your own business or when you, even if you like work in a kitchen or a restaurant, or maybe even like a lot of different careers, like I think that's huge. Like be a teacher and teach your staff, and ultimately like they will grow from it and you will make them better and they can make your business better. I don't want it, and I don't want it to sound like, oh, like everything I teach them, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't, I'm not taking it that way. Right.
But I would also say that like working for Bobby was probably one of the hardest things that I've done in my career. And there was a point where when I was with him, I didn't think that I wanted to do it. It got very, very hard and I didn't give up. I quit and he told me, do you really want to quit? Do you really want to do that right now? And I went home that night and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to fucking quit. I'm not a quitter. I don't do that. And I went back to work the next day and I didn't even think it was possible to work harder, but I worked harder and I worked harder. And then he transferred me back to his flagship in New York City and I got a raise. You know what I mean? Like, so I think him being hard on me during the opening of Gato, which was probably maybe even his most high stress, highly anticipated, like opening in New York City, his first restaurant in New York City in like 9 years. Like it was just like a big deal, and it was really hard and it was really stressful. And he was really hard on us, you know, and it was a test. But you know what? It made me stronger, made me a fuckload stronger.
Carol says amazing. Do you know Carol?
I know the last name. Are you related, Carol? Are you related to Michelle?
Knowing how social media works, it is Michelle, just with the with a different name. Let me see. I had a picture here I was going to show, but I totally lost it. Yeah. So I mean, I think that speaks to your hard work and whatnot. And do you instill those kinds of values on the people that come to work for you?
Yeah, I do. I try to. I mean, listen. Ultimately, like, they're working with me every day. And so I would hope, without me even saying it, like just from me being who I am as a person at the restaurant, I hope that I'm, sharing that part of me with them. And again, I'm not saying that my way is the best way, or, like I just feel like I try to go through life like a good person and treat people well and teach them what I know and like empower them in their positions so that they have a confidence about them and they can handle shit. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you about this. What happened here? John Kerry came into the fucking restaurant and
we catered. We did a catering gig next door at the theater, and he was a speaker. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I thought it was a mannequin, but then I was like, no, this is a human.
It's John Kerry. Yeah, it was really cool that we got to meet John Kerry.
Have you gotten any cool things like that being next to the theater?
I wouldn't say like so many things from the theater. I think that there was probably like more kind of like celebrity run-ins working for Bobby. Like Elton John had his after party after the Tonys at Bar American one year. Like,
wow.
That's incredible.
Hey, how about this one? Leah Cohen told me she got married at Vic's.
No fucking way.
Fucking brilliant.
Hillary?
She knew Hillary. Yeah. And Hillary, and that's where they had they had the ceremony somewhere else, but they came there to Vic's afterwards, and Hillary totally rocked it. So, I mean, fuck. I mean, isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Just
God,
white dress.
I mean, why would you fucking think of that shit?
Done. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That sounds magical.
Yeah, I mean, especially all that cacio e pepe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm holding. Hillary told me she's going to come out here and make me that, so I'm holding her to that. So we'll see. Yeah. All right. So we're almost close to wrapping up. I feel like we covered a lot of your earlier parts in your career and what we kind of did recently. What are people? I have southandpine.com as, I mean, they can't go there, but they can do some takeout and all that stuff right now. What do you want people to know right now about you and what you're working on and what you're doing at the restaurant, like restaurants?
Well, I would say not only for me, but not to speak for any other restaurant owner, but I'm sure everyone would agree, like, the success of our businesses is in your hands. So I would say support your local businesses. How have regulars?
We're going to get to the question. We're going to get that. Oh my God, you're so ADD. A question pops up and you just lose track. And all right, so
it's because of the tickets at work. I'm like, on to the next.
How have regulars in your restaurant inspired your menus? Yeah.
I try to listen to what.
That's a great question, by the way, isn't that? That's a great question, Daniela. Yeah.
Very good question. I try to feed into what people want. I try to be responsive to that, and if something doesn't sell, I take it off the menu and I put something else on the menu, and I kind of pay attention to what's selling and what's not. And
I will say that I've eaten your food a lot because of Her Name is Chef, and then we even came in a couple. I don't know. I feel like right before the pandemic, we came in and we shot some pictures. And we were eating your stuff, and it was just it's so fucking amazing. And I keep forgetting how great your stuff is. So or is that stuff on the menu now currently? Can they get the meatballs and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, the meatballs are on. The Brussels salad is still on probably until next week, so I would definitely hit that. That's a very popular item. But like the classics are there. The fried chicken, although it's an updated version. The grilled salmon we just updated. Did you see that?
No, I mean, but when Nicole and I were there, was that what we had? Was that version of the salmon, or was it a different one?
No, it's a different one. Hold on. I have to show you. All right, check this out.
Oh my God, that looks amazing. Incredible. Look at that. Yeah.
It's like a Korean barbecue glaze.
Oh my God.
With kimchi fried rice and then this cucumber sesame salad.
Wow. So you're constantly updating.
I mean, I'm trying to keep it interesting and I'm trying to keep it fresh and I'm trying to, listen, this is the time, we still have to play. I don't get to have my spring tasting. I feel like spring didn't even exist. We've been dealing with all this. So
it's so outrageous. It is outrageous. It's outrageous that last time probably I had 2 experiences of eating out. It was once when we did the photos at your place and I got to enjoy myself and drink and hang out, next door. And then I went to a diner and then I couldn't go to a restaurant ever again.
I know.
What the fuck is that? I mean, I'm doing a lot of takeout and stuff like that, but I mean, that's that idea of sitting in a restaurant and enjoying yourself is just kind of like a lost art for the last 4 months or whatever it's been.
Dude, on Sunday, I finished up work and I was like, I would love nothing more than to go to a bar and
what the fuck? Go to Sharky's and have some wings,
I know.
It's gone. Well, listen, we're done here. We've talked. Click. No, we've had a good we've had a good chat.
You know what Howard Stern says? Do you ever do that? We've said it all. We've said it all. Well,
we have said it all. Yeah.
Said it all.
There's not much more to say. Will you come on a Monday Night Manja? I'm calling you on the carpet right here.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, listen, Monday's typically my day off, but
perfect. Oh, great. Come on a Monday Night Manja. The crew is here's the crew. It's me, Tony Manja, Gennaro, and Mike Carino. And now you can be that other voice. We talk about genres. And
feel for the record that you need to get a female in the fucking mix over there, boy club. Switch it up a little bit.
Especially since I did Her Name is Chef. You would think that it would be all
up in your face right now. You better get some chicks on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we had a friend of yours on, Sandra. Sandra Zotti's been on.
Love her.
Love her too. Amazing. What's that?
She's a spitfire. That lady's on.
Incredible. Yeah, she looks incredible too. I mean, just an incredible person all the way. But listen, let me tell you some more gratitude. Okay. I will say that whenever I meet somebody that meets you or knows you, they always say how wonderful and nice you are and how incredible of a person you are. So I think that of course they always say how great your food is. But just today, I was talking to Lisa and Mike, who executive produced Her Name is Chef, and we were talking about what we're working on. And she just has nothing but wonderful things to say about you, just that you're incredible at cooking, but also that you're a badass and that you define leadership and all these great things. So I know on those days when, it's tough and you don't know what's going to come next, or a pandemic is coming and you don't know if you're going to have a restaurant, think back on these things about what people say about you, because I really feel that you are an amazing person and you do a lot of amazing things and your food is delicious. So
thank you. Thanks, Peter.
You're welcome. And I got more. I mean, but on another, I'm gonna save it for another show. Yeah.
I've been having a rough fucking week, man. I've been having a rough week.
And anyway, listen. So it was great having you here. Hopefully, I'll be back soon to visit with you, and we can go to Raza or somewhere fun again. That was a blast.
Coming back in June?
Yeah, I'm coming back in June for a few days, and so we'll probably go to Raza, and if it's open, and we'll hang out and do some fun things.
We'll sit outside and eat pizza off of the roof of our car. But
that's amazing.
Come back and we're still in this fucking show that we're in. We gotta hit Jersey City. Ani Ramen's doing this pop-up pizza for nonprofit. Chicago style pizza.
I gotta tell you, both you and Mike Carino are like brother and sister, because he shouts out fucking Ani Raman every opportunity that he gets.
Yeah, but you know why though, right?
I have no idea. No.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna blow up his spot, but it's fine.
Well, okay. Oh boy, Mike Carino's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" No, just kidding.
I'll let him tell you.
Oh, I'm gonna ask him next on Monday night. Not Monday Night Manja. We go off the rails on Monday nights.
I love Ani Ramen because I fucking love Ani Ramen. I think their ramen is delicious, right. And I think that Luck is a wonderful, wonderful human being. That's why.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna go in with an insult. I thought you were gonna say she just got lucky. But that's her name. That's the woman's name.
The owner's name. No, it's actually a he, and his name is Luck.
Okay, that's the man's name, Luck. Yeah.
Nice, very nice guy.
Okay, and I'm not criticizing his name by any means, just for clarity. I just, I'm just
smart, savvy, like good businessman. I appreciate that.
All right, so is it open? Can people go to Ani Ramen?
Well, like I said, they're doing this nonprofit like pop-up if I'm not mistaken, in Montclair, I think they're doing Thai roast chicken.
Sounds amazing.
Bang Bang chicken. And then I think in Jersey City, they're doing this Detroit style pizza. Peter, the crust, it's in this little pan and the cheese goes all the way out to the edges of the cast iron and like cooks into the crust.
I love that. By the way, we're wrapping up and you can totally plug. We got the meatballs takeout, but you just totally plug Luck's Ani Ramen.
Well, listen, he's doing a very good thing. From what I understand, it's like they're providing like hospital workers and frontline workers with food, and like you could donate to that, or like I think if you purchase food, maybe a portion goes to it. But he's running a nonprofit. He's doing it for free. He's paying his employees, but
incredible. Yeah,
it's a people thing. You have to appreciate people like that.
Yes. And now if anybody wants to find you, they can go to southandpine.com and they can find out all about the restaurants that you have, at least South and Pine.
Centralmaine.com is the other site. You could find me on Instagram at South and Pine, at Central and Main American Eatery, or at Chef Leia Marie, which I was forced to create. I would suggest to follow the restaurants.
Oh, wait, you have a private, though. You want me to share the private info or no? No, I'm just kidding.
I like my private life to stay private.
I'm just kidding. No, so you can find her at Chef Leia Maria everywhere, I think, right?
At Chef Leia Marie on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's Facebook too.
On Facebook too, yeah.
Here come all the messages. Wanted to ask you, what are you doing?
Chef Leia Gaccione on Facebook, actually.
Okay. Oh, right. I may have just given a spoiler alert. Private. Anyway. All right. Listen, this was great having you here. I want to do more with you. Please keep coming back to this little show.
I will try my best. It's been crazy.
I do understand. Yes.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting. On Mondays, I'm like, I need a reset day, man.
It's today's Tuesday. Yeah. So just take that.
You tell me, I'll try to suck it up. And
Monday Night Manja, he needs you.
I like it, but listen, sometimes I need a day to be quiet.
I do understand. Well, and listen, Monday Night Manja is loud. So just to let you know, it's a totally. You should have heard this. Go watch if you haven't. Go to the archives on Facebook or YouTube and watch the old Monday last night. Wow, we were off the rails.
What do you guys drink and eat?
We drink, we eat, we talk, yeah. I mean, then Mike Carino almost took out an apparatus to show us how he does something. It gets pretty.
What kind of apparatus?
I don't remember what it was. He was going to show it, but he couldn't find it. So. Long story. Anyway, thank you for doing this. It's so wonderful to see you, and I can't wait to just have like a normal conversation with you where I'm not like asking you questions that I already know the answers to.
You already know, Peter. You can call me anytime.
Yes, you too. Phone works both. There's actually on both ends. There's the speaker.
I'll call you.
Yeah, I'm always here. Anyway, thank you for this, and I'll be in touch with you soon because we have a lot more that we're doing. So.
Okay, cool.
All right, later.
Okay,
bye.
Love you. Bye.
You too. Bye. Boom.